Hello, everyone. This is Jesse Gillenwalters with IndiePRO.io, and this is a hot seat answer video. Now, what is that? What am I talking about? Well, at IndiePRO.io, first of all, we are a marketing community, agency, testing grounds, education sort of organization. And within IndiePRO is this wonderful place called IndiePRO. It is the main hub for all of our elite indies and marketers. Where we commune, talk, learn, teach. A lot happens there. And you gain access to pretty much everything we put out as well. And part of the privilege of being in that community is our hot seat initiative, which is basically that you can go to this little question box on our website, ask questions that may be ambiguous or not clearly answered in a training or something, and a team member will answer it with a thorough video response, which is what I'm doing today. I'm in the hot seat today, and I have a question from Tomislav Vedrina, a long time indie. He's been around for quite a while. His question is, opt-in campaign question. I've created a traffic campaign because I thought that my retargeting audience was too small for a conversions campaign to optimize correctly. Around 20,000 people on that warm audience. Facebook's approximated number of leads for a conversion campaign seemed too low at less than 10 a day. Now this is happening, screenshot attached, and basically in the screenshot it is a great click rate, a great load rate on the page, the opt-in page, and then 0 leads. So about 121 page loads, but none of them submitting that lead form. Now this is happening, that screenshot, and I think I should have gone for conversions anyway. It looks like it's getting the cheapest paid views, which may not be the most interested people to sign up. Do you think I should shut this down and create a new conversions campaign to see how it goes? Tomislav, few things. First of all, let me set the stage for everybody. A lead campaign, an opt-in campaign, what this is, typically you've created, through other means, an audience online, a warm audience, people that have heard of you in some capacity or like you a lot. This audience is usually composed of at least people who have kind of heard of you, and then a bunch of people that have, maybe even communicated with you or bought something from you or have listened to your music a lot. And Tomislav's audience is 20,000 people. And he's trying to run an ad to those 20,000 people and say, hey, sign up for this email thing because it's cool and I want to get you on my email list. He's not saying it that directly, obviously. And so he's sending that ad, which will link to a page with an email form on it. He's trying to get people to submit that form and then see the leads, email subscribers, come in through the other side. That's the goal. And so, again, what he's seeing is he's running the ad to the page, and everyone's loading that page, but no one's submitting it, to his knowledge. Now, my first question, Tomislav, is it's possible. I've seen this happen. It's kind of like a did you turn it off, turn it back on type answer. But it's possible that your lead standard event, your tracking for seeing leads come through this channel, is not set up right, or you didn't set it up, or whatever. It's broken. And so you're not seeing leads in Ads Manager, but you may see leads come through this form in your email app, your autoresponder app. So my first thing would be check that and see if you're seeing leads that are tagged or segmented from as having come through that form, because you might see, oh, I do have 12 leads, in which case you're converting 10% on that page, which is not that bad, I would say it could be better, but for example, it's not doing nothing. So I would check that first, because it could be that you are getting leads and it's just not going to show up in Ads Manager because something about the tracking was not set up correctly. First thing, just have to say it may not be the case. Now, to the rest of your question, you're saying you used a traffic objective because you thought the 20,000 was a little low, and when you the warm audience, and when you looked at the projected leads per day from Facebook, you saw less than 10 a day, which, from experience, let me just say this: when you're talking independent artists, independent musicians running an opt-in campaign, and you have a warm audience of about 20,000, I've seen people run a conversions campaign or a traffic campaign to an audience of that size, and it's gone fine. The scale is limited, obviously. 10 leads a day would be a lot, honestly. So if you were to run, say, $10 a day on a conversions campaign to that audience, 20,000 or so, it would not run meaningfully for a while, maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks, because it would get exhausted out of this small audience. But it's possible that you run that campaign and you see $2 to $4 leads come in, which is about average, I would say. Less than that is great, and you're doing fine, So I wouldn't get distracted by like, I'm nervous about this and Facebook's telling me this. Just run it and track that cost per lead, assuming you're tracking it set up correctly, and follow that. If your cost per lead is low, there's not much you have to worry about. Pretty much, it's just a matter of how long it will run, but how long it will maintain those costs at that small of an audience. But really, if you're getting a lead at a workable cost, that's all that needs to happen. And that workable cost is kind of up to you based on the assessed value of those leads. Like, an $8 lead might be worth it to you if, so many of them become recurring, like Patreon type subscribers, and they pay for themselves in 2 months or whatever, So all of these things add together to inform like what's a good lead cost, of course. But what I'll say is I've seen indies run traffic campaign or conversion campaign to a group of around 20,000 and see solid lead costs, be able to run it for maybe 2 weeks, and then emerge with 50 to 100 leads. That's not out of the question. Though it's not ideal. I will say it's a little bit smaller. And I don't know what's comprising your warm audience, but you could probably include more custom audiences to comprise that warm audience. Maybe if you're only targeting 50% viewers, you can back it up to maybe even through plays. I've been doing that lately. What I opt to do typically is with my warm audience, I use a lot of lower intent custom audiences to build it up, like through plays, for example, like page engagement, Instagram engagement, to get me like 100,000. And then I'll use the conversion campaign because Facebook will kind of be smarter. Like, here's this more intense conversion, this more intense objective, and here's this bigger audience. I want to give Facebook more audience to work with to use this intense conversion rather than giving it a more warm audience yet smaller but a less intense conversion. That's just my approach. You could find that one works better than the other. What I'll say is over and over and over and over and over again, conversions campaigns just work better in all contexts. They're not going to work as well as they could, but typically they're going to beat other objectives. It's kind of become more of a rule of law over time. So I'll say that. Now, if you don't see leads come through, if you can verify that your tracking is good and you don't see leads come through after that, after you try a conversions campaign, after you try widening the warm audience, etc., and you can verify that you are indeed not getting any leads on this current push, then it's going to be a couple things. It's going to be your audience is not, qualitatively pumped about your stuff, like how you're generating this audience. What video you're generating them on might not be the best audience. Could be one problem. The other thing could be that your opt-in page is something's off there, design-wise, offer-wise. Could be not a compelling offer. Could be functionally off. It could be one or both of these things. And you'll have to diagnose that. But try what I said for now, and hopefully that'll help you. And I hope that helped everybody else watching as well. So thank you for that question, and I hope it goes better soon. I'll see you around.